been a whirlwind few days around the NFL. Roster cuts, additions, trade, waiver wire claims, injuries, all that stuff. So we're taking a look at the top 20 NFL free agents who are still available after cuts and claims. We're trying to avoid practice squad players. Depending on when you watch this video, there will be a practice squad player we mentioned who is signed with a team. So do keep that in mind. It's as of filming. Now, if you are hyped for us to finally be at the start of the NFL season, just over a week away from week 1 kicking off, like today's video, every single person should like it. Number 1 for me is Xavien Howard, the cornerback most recently of the Miami Dolphins. Red flag, he's unsigned. Look, it's August. It's late August. Season's about to start. There's reasons why all these guys are unsigned: age, contract demands, medical, decline in play, some combination of the above, all a factor. A little surprised no one has explored Xavien Howard. He declined last year in Miami. I didn't think he was unsignable bad, though. Number 2 is Caleb Farley, and this might truly go down as one of the biggest what-ifs in NFL round 1 recent history, at least. What if he just stayed healthy? He was a very talented corner coming out of Virginia Tech, but has been unable to stay healthy, dealt with just traumatic off-the-field personal life stuff involved as well. I think he's going to wait and sign somewhere on a practice squad. Might have to be the old people want to get him in for a medical check first. DJ Humphries, the potential starting tackle, I think, still in the NFL, coming off a late-season injury. That is a big factor in this. I think it's the number 1 reason why he is unsigned. Corey Davis is number 4. He had retired, then unretired, and we haven't heard that much about him. So this might be too high for him, but it's also August. Don't read too much into the ordering and the numbering here. Adoree Jackson, number 5 on this list, the cornerback. Again, I think he can still contribute. As like a number 4, inside, outside, first guy off the bench. Maybe he doesn't want that. Remember, NFL players, part of the reason why they're so good is they are confident in what they're able to do, and they don't always want to take the pay and roll decline regression that comes along with being unsigned in late August. Who do you think is the best NFL free agent left unsigned? Let me know in the comment section of today's video. Top NFL free agent who has yet to find a new destination. Number 6, David Bakhtiari is on our list, the offensive tackle most recently of the Green Bay Packers. He has said he wants to find a new spot to be the guy. He does not want to be a backup. He wants to contribute in a way. So that limits your available options, quite frankly. So that's going to have to be one that we monitor here and figure out, what if that ends up materializing for him. Number 7 on this list, Yannick Ngakoue. I am surprised he is unsigned. This also sends off red flags for me. Why? Is there medical stuff going on there? Does he not have the juice left in him anymore? Things we have to figure out and identify why these dudes can't seem to find a role. But he can still be a number 3 or a number 4 pass rusher. I think there are plenty of NFL teams who would be in the market for that caliber of player. Number 8, one of the most surprising cuts this week, Byron Young by the Raiders after being a 3rd-round pick a year ago. It is profoundly rare for a 3rd-round pick to get cut that early. The last time I can remember that was Kavarie Russell was a 3rd-round pick of the Chiefs and got cut as a rookie. I'm sure there's other recent examples that was different since Young made it an entire season. He just apparently had a tough time stopping the run. And when you're a non-run stopping DT, you better be a great pass rusher. And he wasn't a great pass rusher. Number 9, Ryan Tannehill, the quarterback. For a lot of the guys on this list, you have to go, hey, this might be it. This might be it for Ryan Tannehill. If he doesn't want to be the vet mentor backup type, which I'm not saying he doesn't, but I'm saying that we have to acknowledge that as a possibility here. There's no spot for him as a starting QB in the NFL. At his age, might just ride off into the sunset for him. Number 10. I had no idea where to place him, by the way. Kadarius Toney. Look, he is athletically gifted. And once the ball is in his hands, good things normally happen. It's all the stuff that goes into getting the ball in your hands that cause issues, that would require you to figure out the problems you face. And I don't know if with all the headaches and the drops and all just the drama that he helps cause, and whether it's all his fault or not, whatever, I don't know if he's worth another opportunity. I'm sure somebody will give it to him, but now you're not on an active roster anymore. Now you're hanging out on a practice squad. And that's something that, assuming no one gives him an active spot, which I kind of doubt would be the case there, the practice squad duties are very different than the duties that come along with being a first-round pick, and you're supposed to be the Giants' number one wide receiver and all that stuff. So I think figuring out the role for Toney and if he's even worth that is a pretty big question mark. So my question for you guys here on today's show is, if you ran an NFL organization, would you be willing to give Kadarius Toney another chance? I put him at 10, but I don't know if I would want to be the team that made that risk. So sound off in the comments, why for yes and for no. Couple different wide receivers in a row that we'll discuss here. Hunter Renfrow is next up. The former Raiders wideout slot receiver. Kind of thought he'd be a Saint. Ended up not materializing on that front, so might be on the line for him. Michael Thomas, I think this, to be unsigned this late in the process is probably not a great sign for him. Probably means it's the end of the road. Diva tendencies are actually almost valuable when you're a number one wide receiver. They are not valuable when you're like a 4. And you don't help on special teams, by the way. Micah Hyde, number 3, had some retirement contemplation here. We'll figure out what happens on that front. If he does play again, I would bet it's back in some capacity in Buffalo. Number 14 was going to be Noah Brown. Great job, producer Chris, fixing this on the fly. He has, as we've been filming this, signed with the Commanders to the active roster as Dan Quinn gets another former Cowboy into the building. Russell Gage, we'll put him on here in his spot. He's kind of bounced around a little bit in recent years, had the scary neck injury or concussion, whatever it was, a couple years ago. I think could potentially contribute, though, as a backup wide receiver still. Rashad Weaver. What did make the Titans' initial 53-man roster, then got cut when they claimed Ali Gay off of waivers from the Houston Texans. Weaver's been a real disappointment coming out of Pitt as a 4th-round pick. And he'll get a practice squad spot somewhere. Maybe gets claimed, but got to be a lot of growth from that perspective. Now, if you want even more NFL free agency videos year-round, especially during NFL free agency, you've come to the right spot. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Number 16, C.J. Henderson. Look, you might just have to put the bus label on him if you hadn't already done so. He's bounced around too many times to make me think it's suddenly going to click for him. But practice squad is practice squad. Not a bad idea. Jerick McKinnon, the kind of scat third down back. I think the Chiefs' dreams are dead there since they added Samaje Perine after Denver cut him. But the running back free agent market overall, it's not great. It's not great. Now, if you have not already got the rookie jersey for your new favorite NFL player, except for Marvin Harrison Jr., you can get yours today over at chatsports.com/NFL jersey. Officially licensed NFL jerseys are available for all the different players and teams that are out there. Yeah, minus MHJ. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. It's chatsports.com/NFL jersey. I'll put Kareem Hunt on this list because, again, the running back market is bad. Hunt was not good last year. There is a reason why so many different running backs, the Browns have picked others over Kareem Hunt. By the way, I'm not putting Deonta Foreman on this list. Certainly sounds like at some point he'll be back on the Browns' active roster, so I'm pretending he already is. 19, Rock Ya-Sin. It's a fun name. Has the build of a guy named Rock, by the way, which is pretty funny. Cornerback, depth piece. There are some decent corners out there. The danger is, do you trust them covering even 2s and 3s in the NFL? Ricky Stromberg, a former 3rd-round pick, again, moved on from pretty early by Washington because they signed Tyler Biadasz. His issue is he doesn't really offer non-center position flex. And if you don't offer position flex as a backup interior offensive lineman, teams don't really have that much use for you in most cases. So he'll find a spot somewhere, but it's probably going to be on a practice squad, would be my guess. All right, before we get to some practice squad names I want to mention, shout out your favorite team and name a player that they should sign. Drop that team-player combination in the comments. A couple notable practice squad signings I want to mention here, players who were waived. Lewis Cine, the former first-round pick, going to the Jets. I'll mention Frank Gore Jr. for you guys for the Bills because I know how everyone operates. These guys can be added to your active roster, but they weren't, so I think that there's a reason for that for all these guys. Desmond Ridder got cut and now is a Cardinals practice squatter. Same with Sean Clifford. Nick Needham at one point was a starter for Miami at nickel corner. He goes to the practice squad. Terrace Marshall Jr., former second-rounder, going to San Francisco. Paris Campbell lost his spot in the Jahan Dotson trade, basically. He's back on the Eagles practice squad. Chris Rodriguez back to the Commanders. Donovan Peoples-Jones to the Lions, which worked out well for us to get Tim Patrick, by the way. And then Carl Lawson, who had signed and then been cut by the Cowboys, is now back on their practice squad as well.